What's up, guys? So I'm making this section of the video after the actual entire video has been made. And I had a student of mine watch the video you're about to watch, and he said that there seemed to be less humility in the video, which might open the door for more hate comments than normal. And I thought it was a good opportunity to speak about something super important in poker, which is the ego, confidence, arrogance, and humility. So let's start with humility. You need to be humble as a human being because it's built into reality. In the grand scheme of things, I am nothing but a grain of sand on an endless beach. I will die, and everybody I know will die, and over a long enough time span, almost every decision or act I do will be forgotten and unimpactful. And this is not being pessimistic. I love my life very much, and I'm super grateful for the gift, but that recognition of reality keeps me humble as a person. Now, this is the part I really want to touch on. Having ego and having confidence and even some arrogance as a poker player, not as a man, try to understand the distinction, is actually extremely beneficial to your success as a poker player and as a competitor. You've likely been told your entire life to not have arrogance or ego, but the people who say that do not enter competitive dominance hierarchies like poker and do well. No matter how good you are in anything, you will face your own doubt and your own failures and your own negative thoughts towards yourself. So it's very important that your ego and arrogance can at least counteract some of those negative thoughts with positive ones. If you want a great win rate in poker, you cannot play timid or purely humble. You need to have some thoughts of, I am better than my opponents, I will find their leaks and exploit them, I am not hoping to get lucky when I play poker, I trust my knowledge and preparation will allow me to be victorious over the long run. So yeah, I just wanted to make this part before the full video so you can understand that if the video comes across as less humble than my past stuff, it's not Avery the man presenting the video, but it's Avery the poker player, and that confidence, ego, and arrogance that might be detected or depicted in this video has very likely actually contributed to the results I'm going to share. And I'm advising you guys to find your own version of ego, confidence, and even a little arrogance in poker and let that have its place at the table while not letting it take over or destroy you. It's a balancing act. The video is long and the hand montage that I hope you guys enjoy is at the end. I'll see you in the video, guys.
What is up, guys? Play It Smart back here making another video. It's been a while for sure. Feels a little weird talking to a camera again for YouTube, but yeah, I've been asked for a video for a long time by a lot of different people and decided it was time to give you guys an update on my life and on poker for any of you who are interested. So, gonna touch on a bunch of different topics today, so let's just get into it. The first thing I'll start with is I'll give a mini apology, which is, for over a decade, I was doing poker 100% on my own. And going from doing poker completely on my own to, when I became more quote unquote poker famous a few years ago, now I've been working with and talking with, hundreds or thousands of players throughout the past couple of years in the online poker space. And I enjoy it. It's been really nice. But, going from waking up to not having to respond to anybody in poker to waking up with 50 to 100 different people or messages in your inbox every day where people are just asking you for coaching or can you break down this hand or whatever they want from you, just that for an extended period of time kind of started to feel like a job to me. And so if you tried to contact me in probably the last year and a half or so, I've definitely just been in general not checking my messages and kind of not looking to put a bunch of my mental energy into like Discord and things like that. So I just want to give like a blanket for everyone. I just want you to know, because I'm sure there are a bunch of you on here who have messaged me in the past couple of years and I probably haven't responded. Just know that it certainly is not personal towards you. I just didn't want to wake up every day and have to deal with 50 messages, and I think that a bit of both is nice. Like I think that doing The solo thing is definitely, it definitely has its perks. And I also think connecting with community and everything definitely has its value too. But yeah, I just wanted to make that clear that if you had been trying to message me asking me for coaching or whatever you've been asking me for, advice, breakdown hands, and I haven't responded in the past year, year and a half, whatever it's been, just know that, yeah, it's nothing to do with anyone personally. It's just everyone was kind of getting less of my time. All right, so with that said, let's rewind to my last video, which was made at the beginning of last year, so in 2025. So I ended that video talking about wanting to work on my health and my wellness. You know, decades of poker definitely takes its toll on the brain and on the nervous system, and really wanted to work on my sleep, which I did get a lot better. It's still not perfect, but I've had lots of great progress, and definitely spent a lot of time working on my physical health and my body. And I guess this part, it's easier to show you what I've been working on rather than tell you. So I'll do that. All right, so yeah, guys, this is what I've been working on. Been spending a lot of my time working on my health and my physique. So, you know, this is what I've been doing. So chest, lats, arms, back. You know, doing the legs. And yeah, this is what I've been doing. So yeah, I've been putting in a lot of time and energy into my physique. I'm very proud of it and of myself. I've been training hard very consistently since I made that last video. I'm now 35 years old, and I might be in the best shape of my life. I did fairly serious boxing every day for some years when I was like 25 to 28, which I was also in peak shape. So it's between one of those two, kind of depending on your metrics. I'm definitely stronger now, but back then I had like cardio for days, and I could fight for, at my peak, I could fight for 25 minutes nonstop, which is, it's quite good if you understand how much energy fighting actually takes. I'm also super strong right now, which has been tons of fun. On the incline chest press machine, I'm able to stack, well, I should say I did it a few times, stacking 10 plates, which is 450 pounds for 3 reps of 3 sets. I've never lifted that much weight before in my life, so that was definitely a really cool experience. I want to talk briefly about weightlifting and poker. So, blanket statement is you guys need to lift weights. It does have a direct EVBB per 100 feedback loop on your win rate. Weights, your body and brain are producing so many positive chemicals that defend against tilt and all the emotional swings of poker. In weights, there is no variance. If you put your time in and show up each day, you will get stronger and you will improve. Poker, you can show up each day and put the time in, and after 3 months, your bankroll can be worse than when you started. So that linear, consistent progression, winning in weights and in fitness is super, super important. And then going deeper than that, the point of having a great win rate in poker is ultimately to curate a great life for yourself, and being strong and confident in your body's capabilities is vital to having a great life. You feel better about yourself, and that confidence will translate to poker confidence. You can bluff more, you can call down more, you can be more creative. It's kind of the subconscious saying, I believe in myself, which I have proven in the gym, and if I put my time and energy towards something, I can win and see progress. Women are going to be a lot nicer to you if they are sexually attracted to you. Men will respect you more if they know your body is capable of violence. The vast majority of you guys watching this are nerds, and almost every poker player screen I have ever seen, I see games like Hearthstone and League of Legends, and I'm a nerd. I definitely grew up as a nerd, but I like to be a strong nerd. And my advice to you if you're a nerd is be a nerd, but be a strong and capable one, and in my opinion, your life will be infinitely better. All right, next up, we're going to talk about my No Mercy series. So the last video that I made at Christmas last year, after that video, I wanted to do a challenge for myself. And at that point, my Max Exploit Academy was circulating, and tons of students were learning lots of redline concepts that I was teaching, and that was really cool to see. I wanted to see what I could do if I threw all caution out the window and I played poker trying to win every single pot in every single situation that I thought was conceivable to win all of the time, absolutely relentlessly. I wanted to take every single red line concept I knew and go full throttle and see how hard it would crush. And I decided that in order to make it realistic for you guys, I would play anonymous, so I would put in the volume on Party Poker since nobody knew my screen name there. This was my first attempt at this, and the only drawback of Party Poker was there was only 100 Zoom running daily, and I wanted to just do this for a month where I could log in every day, put my hands in, and be done. I don't do like table politics, or I never table select, so I just want to play, and I'll play anybody who's there. These were my results. I was going to make a video series out of it and call it No Mercy, but it just hasn't been a priority. I knew going into it that it would be a slaughter, and there would be the couple of droolers on the internet saying that it's fake. So I actually have every single hand screen recorded on a drive, like every single hand. This is what my style was able to produce mainly against regs. I should note that the sample size is obviously not huge, but it doesn't really matter when you see a graph like this, because whether my win rate is 12 BB or 20 BBs is not really the point. The point was to show if you use the concepts I teach accurately, you could still crush everyone in 2025. Also, it's important to understand the distinction of a red line win rate graph like this versus blue line. This is not me with aces or kings or setting people super deep or running particularly hot. This is me systematically, relentlessly picking apart my opponent's ranges and achieving a crazy bluff success ratio in every node all the time in the game tree. So I don't need a huge sample because this win rate does not depend on my hand strengths, but rather my situational awareness. One day I might release all the footage unedited on YouTube in like an 80-hour video where you just see what 20 BB EV poker looks like. It's fun as fuck, super loose, super aggressive, zero backstepping. It's just like overbetting, check raising, 5x potting, 10x potting, every single spot, just relentless aggression. Like truly, it was no mercy, and I had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot from it as well. So that was last year. Fast forward to this year now. I'd still been doing a bunch of poker coaching. Like I have a bunch of core students that I've been working with for years now. I still play poker. I definitely don't play like every day, but I definitely still play. I'm still extremely sharp in poker. I like to play poker. I enjoy it, so I still play. I was told about Coin Poker's 100% rakeback month promotion, and I wanted to put in some volume on the site to see if I like it, A, and B, because I know that they have heads up that people will like actually play. There's heads up tables, so that was really exciting. So yeah, I decided to put some money on there and to again play my No Mercy style in the 6 max ante games, but this time I was playing 200 no limit with the ante with some 500 no limit with the ante. And again, I got 20 BBs in EV. It's a small sample, and you guys can take it for whatever you feel like it's worth. Again, it's their tracking is not great in that I don't know if I can like download the hands. It would be cool if I could. But yeah, it's all just red line, just skyrocketing. I was having a ton of fun and playing poker, and I was really enjoying thinking about my opponent's strategies and how to counter them. So after the month of 2026 playing on the rake-free coin poker, I decided to grind 500 NL on GG for a month. So here are my results. First thing I want to say is that this is zero table selection for me whatsoever. I'm willing to play anybody heads up who sits, and I'll play in any reg game. Just open the tables, press my number of tables, whatever opens I'm playing. And I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and opinions on today's online mid-stakes games. Obviously, it's relative to your own skill level on the level of play of the field, but these are just my personal observations. So let's just start first with the poker dream is still 100% alive. If you are talented and willing to put in the work consistently and handle the inevitable rough patches in poker, 100% it is still possible to go from 10 no limit to 500 no limit online and then some. The pool is absolutely not just crushers only. There are plenty of whales punting stacks daily, plenty of regs who are essentially fish, who you can consistently earn a healthy win rate off of. I think the top 5 to 10% of regs are certainly getting better and better. Their splits are less obvious, and they have hands in their ranges at frequency that they should. Against them, the biggest edge is going to be mental game, which is huge, and consistency and frequency of certain players. So for example, you could have a very strong reg taking a good play at 60 to 80% frequency when they should be taking it at 10 to 20% frequency, and you can capitalize on something like that. I also wanted to say, I got linked to another poker channel video a while ago where the guy was claiming online poker win rates in general are dying and showed the graph of them going down each year. This is like anything in life. Winners take most. And I want to talk a little bit about mentality, because he's looking at poker from the lens of the field or the average, and you should not be looking at others' results. You should only be focusing on your own. How is your win rate doing over time? If it's stagnating or declining, it's your personal fault, not the game of online poker. It's you personally. It's telling you that you are not doing enough to earn a higher win rate. Some of you might be thinking that you're giving everything you have and still not progressing, and I would advise in that case it's not a lack of energy, but rather it's your methodology or process that needs to change. If I tell you that there is gold in one of 2 mines, and you have been digging for gold in the first mine for 1 year and never finding any, it's your ego or lack of knowledge that prevents you from searching in the second mine. It's not the gold's fault you haven't found it yet. I always want to help you guys get better at poker and try to point you in the right direction. The bottom line is, in 2026, you need some creativity in your game if you want to crush poker. Paying a guy for an MDA sheet that every other reg has bought for $200 that says, pool over folds here, does not entitle you to a higher win rate. If you want a higher win rate, you need to be exceptional. I mean that literally. You have to be an exception to the average or to the rule. That is by definition the only way to get exceptional results. You need to work on your creative, exploitative thought process that allows you to go from standard hand from standard reg to what the fuck is this guy doing? There's no way that's good. I don't understand what he's thinking, while having the win rate to back it up. Playing different for the sake of playing different is obviously not what I'm talking about. Like, don't start jamming 100 big blinds into a 1 big blind pot, blind on blind, just because the guy's like, nobody does that, because there's definitely a threshold. But you need to be looking to take your opponents to game trees or lines where they are less prepared and more likely to make mistakes. You have to actually sit down and use your brain and figure out, how do I beat this guy? How do I beat this pool? How do I beat my opponents? Not just outsource your thoughts or creativity to a solver or to a group. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys still had that poker fight in you. Poker is, after all, mental warfare, and the poker dream is certainly still alive and well if you're hungry enough for it. Poker has infinite edge. It's such a complicated game with a huge edge coming from handling very difficult negative emotions. Those edges are out there, and they are not going away anytime soon. They've been telling me that win rates are dwindling for over 15 years now. And my win rate is higher now than it's ever been. And I'm not saying that that's reserved just for me. Like, I'm just capitalizing on what's out there. So there's nothing stopping you from doing the same. If it's poker versus a human, you can win. Next, I wanted to touch on the Cash Game World Championships. Firstly, I think it's super cool. When I was coming up in the games and I was playing online poker, every day, I was hoping that they had something like that. They kind of did, in the sense of, like, back in the day, there was a lot more reg battling, and people would just load up, 8 tables of 6 max, and you would just, 5 good regs and 1 fish, and you would just battle for like 8 hours, and you would just play every day. But there was never anything like tracked like this. I really like the idea of it, but I do have one issue with it, and I'm really torn because I definitely would love to participate in it, but it's really hard for me to justify participating in it because it's super minus EV for my style and for redliners. And it's quite easy to explain why. So with my graphs and my results, I think that it's clear that I'm able to take my opponents into lines and game trees and sizings that they overfold to. And if I'm consistently taking my opponents there and I'm winning the pot and we're in spots that, let's say that they're folding 80%, 90%, some spots even 100%, if I have to show my cards on a show table and a Cash Game World Championship, that is just super minus EV for me. Because if we go into a spot where my opponent is folding range, or he's folding, let's just say 80%, and we get this spot, let's say, whatever, a couple times a week, and those couple times a week, I have to show him that I've bluffed him, 3 out of 3 times. His 80% to 100% fold frequency is very quickly going to substantially go down. And yeah, essentially like the show tables to some degree, it's almost like giving away free coaching if you are actually playing creative and having hands in lines that your opponents don't understand or don't expect. And it's not a fair reciprocated trade because I know what my opponents are folding, or if they bluff me, I know what types of hands they might be bluffing with in a certain. So like I'm not learning basically from seeing their cards as much as I would be giving away showing mine. And I have no problem showing down my hand, and like showing my cards, but I feel like you have to earn it. Like if I make some kind of complicated bluff and I get called and you have the best hand, more power to you. It means that you've accurately understood a bunch of complex poker problems and you deserve to win the pot. I'm happy with that. But I don't think it's fair if I run that bluff, you fold, you never got to the level of consciousness or understanding of the strategy and why I was bluffing, and you just see it for free and then make adjustments for absolutely nothing, like nothing positive from you whatsoever, just kind of built into the game tree of we're playing poker, but you're getting free coaching in a spot that it would take you. Some players will literally never reach a certain level in poker, and they get to see hands in the showdown if they fold that they would never ever get to see, in the sense of we're talking about spots where they're folding 100%. And so it just kind of like graduating them to the level of understanding of bluffing in that spot, or why it's a good bluff, or certain sizing. It just doesn't sit well with me. But I'm definitely keeping my eye on it. I think it's really, really cool. I hope that they can do something where it's not show-only table. And yeah, that's my reasons. So back to YouTube. I don't know when I will be making another poker video on YouTube. I still love poker. I'm still deeply invested in poker in a bunch of ways. But this is for sure not going to be my last video. Well, I shouldn't say for sure, but God willing, this will not be my last YouTube video. I feel like, yeah, like I might still do some more stuff with Upswing Poker. I've enjoyed working with them, and I've made some playing explains for them. I might end up doing more of my Max Exploit Academy videos in the future. Right now, I'm not really tying myself down to anything specific in poker, but I'm also definitely keeping an open mind in that I plan to stay in poker, so it's not, you guys will get stuff over time. I do feel like to some degree, poker is a game, and I feel like I beat the game. And so there is an element of right now I'm at a stage in my life where I'm just enjoying my victory. and living a great life, and I'm very content and happy. And yeah, that's what I've been up to. Lastly would be, I always want to give you guys some valuable poker concepts or understanding, or help you guys reach your own poker creativity and get your own juices flowing so you guys can elevate your poker game. We talked earlier about in 2026, if you want to have a very high win rate, that you need to play exceptional poker, where you need to be using creativity and deviating and having hands in your range that your opponent wouldn't expect, that hard counter their ranges realistically. And so I'm going to leave you guys with my summer 500 NL 7 BB win rate 2026 on GG Poker. This is my attempt at playing exceptional poker in 2026. And it's just some cool hands where I was trying to play my best and execute on what I think the best play is, regardless of the opinions of others or the outcome. And I decided, while I'm kind of talking about this out loud, that I will include one more in-depth hand history breakdown, just so that you guys can kind of get into my head and start thinking about some of the thoughts or ideas that would go into playing this style of poker, or where you might want to incorporate certain aspects of this style of poker to hopefully increase your win rate. So I will load up a specific fun hand. We're going to break down one of my hands that I played. And remember, going into it, this is me trying to play exceptional poker. I'm trying to play outside of the box, not to be cool, but because I think it yields the highest win rate in this specific situation, which I try to do all the time. And I'm going to break down what goes through my head in a hand like this. And yeah, you just have to come into it with, solver is not going to like it, or you're not going to like it, and it's going to look different than what you might be used to. And that's the point. That's the edge. So give you guys some edge here. Here's how this hand went down in my head. So we get the second best hand in poker. Obviously, pocket aces is first, and then we get the deuce 8 offsuit in the big blind. Our opponent, who is a regular, opens to 3BB. Now, first exploit here is that I think that this opponent is opening too wide and folding to too many 3-bets. So he's not defending to enough 3-bets. And so we're in a spot where he is opening his weakest range, given that it's BVB. And I'm in a situation where if I fold, I'm minus 100 BB per 100. And if I 3-bet, I A, can win the pot pre-flop, and B, I think I'm going to have a nice post-flop skill edge against my opponent. So 3-betting a hand like this, it's not like, understand that every hand is situational here. This is not my standard play where I'm sitting down and I'm 3-betting 8 deuce offsuit every hand. And if you're playing against me, if you're watching this, which I know there are a ton of regs who are playing against me who are watching this, don't think that you're getting 3-bet by 8 deuce offsuit, but you might be. It kind of depends on how I perceive you. So we go for the 3-bet, and like I said again, we are just trying to beat minus 100 BB per 100. So if I can just lose at minus 50 BB per 100 with this play, huge win rate. My opponent calls. Flop, we get the deuce 3 jack board, and I'll play different strategies here. I will either split against some players who I think do worse at a split, or I will play high frequency or range bet if I think that my opponent does a bad job defending against that. So here, I go for the small c bet. Okay? You know, pretty good flop when you got deuce 8 offsuit. Like I got bottom pair. It's not bad. Hopefully he folds. Okay, but he goes for the raise. So this is the part where, you know, you're like, unless you're used to navigating waters like this is the part where you're going to get tilted because it's like, you know, what the fuck am I doing? Why didn't I just fold pre-flop? Why am I getting myself into this situation? So here's how I'm thinking about the spot in-game. So the first thing is you always need to stick with your same understanding of the spot as the hand progresses. So specifically, if I'm 3-betting him and I'm saying that he is opening too wide and not defending to enough to 3-bets, that includes some of these good hands on this board. So let's first start with the obvious. He has 0 2 pairs. So let's start there. So I don't have to worry about any 2-pair value raising me. Now the interesting thing is, if I start saying he's overfolding pre-flop, some of those first hands that he might overfold here pre-flop are going to be pocket deuces and pocket threes, because those hands are, a lot of players are not comfortable playing those hands out of position, especially against an aggressive player. So in game, I significantly, but not pure, but I significantly reduced the value combos of pocket deuces and threes that my opponent had. A, from pre-flop, because I think he's folding a bunch of them pre-flop. And B, they certainly aren't always going to check raise the flop. And C, my deuce blocker is very nice here. So that's the first part, is I can significantly reduce the made hand value portion of his range due to how he's playing. Next comes into how he should be playing other parts of his range compared to how I believe he is. So the first thing here is, against this 1/3 pot bet, my opponent should be raising a lot of jacks. He should be raising all of his ace jacks, essentially, a bunch of his king jacks, and a lot of his jack X with additional backup, like a hand like jack 10 of clubs. That one, jack 9 of clubs, wants to raise here very, very often. I don't think that my opponent is at that skill level to find those thinner value raises. So I perceived his raising range to be a lot more polar. And another thing that's really nice about this board is he couldn't have the top pair in a flush draw. So if the jack wasn't suited and he could have hands like king jack of diamonds here raising, that would hurt me because he could have a lot more value combos. But in game, this is kind of what I'm always, you know, as I play poker, I'm always trying to make mental node locks as the hand's progressing and on every street. So in game, this is kind of what I was seeing. So firstly, I gave him like basically no combos of sets. He's gonna have like deuces. We'll just put him, we'll put 10% there, and we'll put 15% pocket threes. The nice thing again of him being overfolding preflop is he's got no 3x suited. So like, if you're loose and aggressive here, you could definitely call a 3-bet if somebody's 3-betting a lot with hands like 3-5 of diamonds, ace 3 of diamonds, king 3 of diamonds, but the vast majority of players will fold that. So I don't have to worry about that. So what are we getting raised from here? So firstly, we're going to be getting raised by a ton of flush draws here, a ton of them. So we're going to be getting raised by 4 or 5 of diamonds. Oh, got to go to 100%. Obviously, this is never going to be perfect, so I'm solving it in real time in my head, so it's not going to be like I'm going to get some magical perfect frequency answer. I'm just doing my best in game to guesstimate my equity against the range and what the actual range is comprised of. So why is it continuing to do that? I want diamonds. Diamonds. 6-5. Okay. So we got 6-5 of diamonds. He's going to have 10-9 of diamonds. He's going to have queen 10 of diamonds. He's going to have king 10 of diamonds, king queen of diamonds, ace queen of diamonds, ace 10 of diamonds, ace 4 of diamonds, ace 5 of diamonds. We'll give him ace 9 of diamonds, king 9 of diamonds. Then we're going to have to give him a bunch of clubs, which is also quite good for me. where we're going to give him just the double, like we'll give him 6-5 of both. It's been a while since I used this. I guess I'm a fish now. Six, 5 of both. So just taking the back doors. So we'll give him 6-5. We'll give him the queen tens. We'll give him the king queens with the back doors. And 4-5 as well. He's going to have the front door and the back door. Okay. Then he's going to have some combos. We'll give him also ace-4 and ace-5 of both, back door and front door. This is about what the range I was putting. He obviously never has pocket jacks because A, that's going to 4-bet preflop sometimes, and it's not going to check raise the flop. So this is what the main part of the range is that I'm looking at here. I do think that there's going to be some trace frequency here of like some other stuff here with like some ace-4 and ace-5 of like spades or hearts at some trace frequency, but that's not really the point of what I want to show here. So what I want to illustrate here is, let's just look at combos here for a second. So this range contains 19.5 combos. And I believe that, firstly, we'll run our hand's equity against the range. Let's start by doing that. Deuce 8, deuce 3, jack. So before we do this, the way I was thinking about the spot is my hand's equity against his range is good. It's not great, but we're over 40%. But I can significantly increase my equity realization by folding him off of so much of his equity. He's the one with too many drawing hands that I can deny his equity realization with a re-raise on the flop. So in terms of raw equity, we're close, right? I'm 47%. So we're close. He still has an advantage, but we're close. But if we take into consideration now that if I go all in, he's going to go from 19.5 hands calling to, and I think that he's a weak player, so he's going to overfold. I think he's going to fold all of his 6-5s. He's going to definitely fold his 10-9, definitely fold his queen 10, folding his king 10. He's going to fold half of his combos of ace-4 and ace-5 because he's only going to call off with diamonds. So we'll go this. This will now call. Half of this is gone, right? 5-4 of diamonds will call. King 9 is also probably he's going to fold. I think he just calls off with basically his nut flush draw, his double over flush draw, and his like 5-4. Maybe we'll give him 5-6 as well. Maybe he calls it off. I'm not sure. But you can see here already, if he's only started with 19.5 combos, and he's only calling 11.5, my equity against the range was already 47%. Now I'm saying on top of that, that I'm winning 100% of the pot very, very often by just outright jamming and denying him off of so much of his equity. So that's how I look at the spot. Obviously, you're never going to get it exact. Like, to make a play like this, you have to have a thesis and a thought process, and you have to think about the hands in their range and where you could be wrong and how that would affect you. So for example, the more he's raising hands like Jack 9 of clubs, things like that, the worse that this is going to get for me. But I was confident that in this situation that he wasn't doing that at the frequency he should. And I also, because I think that he's going to play this spot incorrectly, I don't think it's inconceivable that if he did have a raise like Jack 10 of clubs, that they find the fold to the all-in here. Because very few players will find an all-in like this, and if they get jammed on here, which I do decide to jam, um, people as the caller tend to overfold because they have no bluffs in a spot like this. As like their only quote unquote bluff is double over nut flush, or like, ace king of diamonds, ace queen of diamonds, ace four. So that's not bluffs. This is a bluff. This is like a genuine hand that it is trying to potentially get my opponent to fold something better. Like if he's a stronger player and he had his check raising range built better, he could find some flop check raises with a hand like pocket fours, four of diamonds, things like that. Against that strategy, this hammers him obviously because he's not going to call off. And yeah, I just wanted to, he tanks and he folds. And I just wanted to explain that one and then, kind of get your juices flowing. And then when you guys watch the hand montage, I'm going to leave it up to you guys to try to figure out or think about why I might do a certain action, why it might be great, or why I might be just a huge whale on a heater. And yeah, here's the hand montage. I really enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed playing. I feel like right now my game is probably its strongest it's ever been. I learned a lot in the last year and a bit. Basically, there were like doing the No Mercy series where I completely freed myself and unshackled myself to do anything that I thought was good all of the time, really let me get a very unbiased answer into just how often they work and why they work. And I can start to, even when they don't work, I can start to work my way back. Okay, why didn't this work? What did he call with a hand class that I expected him to fold? If so, why? Was it a sizing? What was it, a sizing imperfection by me? Or was it a situation that I didn't understand something psychologically, which is maybe like he felt like he was at top of his range and he's just unwilling to fold top of his range, things like that. But basically spending a lot of my time kind of working through that. And also, I did a lot of work with a group of guys who play deep ante games, and that allowed me to see how wide we have to widen our range when there's like big antes, which is extremely wide for the record. And then me learning how to play all of those hand classes, like 8-6 offsuit, multi-way, 9-3 suited, multi-way, things like that. It just really got me to a deep understanding of post-flop hand equity realization, regardless of any type of structure. Like it doesn't matter to me about how many players are in the pot or what my hand is. I can just take the hand now and understand, okay, in this spot, what is its function in my range, and how does it best realize its equity? And then because I played so much and talked a lot about the deep ante, so kind of seeing how these hands play in a 6-handed or 9-handed game, like I was very used to it in heads up. Heads up, I basically play any two, so I'm 7 deuce offsuit, whatever, all these hands you're in there. But knowing how to play 9-5 suited 6-way, and like it allows you to know, not just know how to play 9-5 suited, but you basically can know, okay, how do you play all suited gappers? Or how do you play all hands like Jack 7 offsuit? And once you understand how to play them, it enables you to really, really open up your VPIP in these like six-handed games, especially on the button and in the small blind. And yeah, just basically consistently overperforming the fold, which is going to be lower EV. And it's also super, super fun. Having a really high VPIP, it makes it a lot of fun for me to play personally because I feel like I'm really engaged and I never really have a an off time while I'm playing, which is probably going to really fuck me if I want to play live poker because I'll be so bored. All right, I've been rambling for a bit. It's been a long time, but yeah, thank you guys for continuing to support me. I love you guys. It's been great. Still really grateful that I've connected with so many of you, and so many of you have reached out to me personally. I still get messages like all the time on my Discord just saying like, hey man, watched your video, here's a graph. This is what I've been doing. Thank you so much. This has really helped me. And like I said, I definitely don't reply to all of them, but I just want you to know that I usually read them, and I'm really happy, and I hope you guys have nothing but success, health, wealth, happiness, and have a great day, guys. Enjoy the montage.
Content warning. The following video may contain poker hands that are harmful or traumatizing to a poker mind that is incapable of stepping out of solver land and into max exploit territory. Viewer discretion is advised.
I won't speak, no, I don't try. It's been a secret for the longest time. Don't run, no, I don't hide. Been running from it for the longest time. So many mornings I woke up confused in my dreams. I do anything I want to you. My emotions are naked, they're taking me out of my mind. Right now I'm shameless, screaming my lungs out for you. Not afraid to face it. I need you more than want to, need you more than want to. Show me you're shameless. Right on my neck, why don't you? Yeah, I won't going back. Mark my words, love will make you levitate like a bird without a cage. On the earth, if you choose to walk away, don't walk away. It's just a plan of your head now, baby. Yeah, so I know the baby. So just be sure before you Let's way low, climbing on top of the world. Flying to never get old. We rise, we got a halo, halo. We spend our life on the plane. Let's way low, climbing on top of the world. Flying to never get